okay? Because I have a lot of good things to say. Hello, everybody. I'm Barbara Stein, the Executive Director of Actors Playhouse, and we're so privileged to be in this beautiful home, our theater company, the beautiful Miracle Theater. This is a great movie series sponsored by the Kirk and Lydia Menendez Endowment, Family Endowment. We're so endowed to these wonderful, wonderful people. Commissioner Menendez is a terrific supporter of the arts in the community and a terrific lover of film, and he'll tell you a little bit about it. Maria Menendez, his wife, is in the audience. Maria, we love you. Thank you for being here today so well. And we have former Mayor Dorothy Thompson and her husband Jack in the city of Coral Gables. Always wonderful to have you part of our audience. I know Commissioner Menendez would like to address you, and I'd love to tell you a little bit about what's going on at the Miracle Theater when he's done. Commissioner, thank you so much for this great opportunity.
Thank you, Barbara. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. I saw some Dolphin shirts out there. They played great today. So we have a late arriving crowd, but for a good reason. Like Barbara said, I'm so happy to have Mayor Dorothy Thompson and her husband, Jack. Just to let you know, Mayor Dorothy Thompson was the first and only woman mayor of Coral Gables. And amazing. And sometimes we take things for granted. She led the way to save the Biltmore Hotel in the 1970s from being demolished. So, thank you, Dorothy. And not only are you a friend, but you're a friend to everyone. And I know my colleagues and I, we turn to you as a mentor, so thank you again. Thank you for being here. The other day I was thinking, and I mentioned when we showed Star Wars in December, my family and my grandfather owned a chain of movie theaters back in the 20s and 30s. And I got sort of sentimental last night when I heard all the interest to watch Indiana Jones today. Everywhere I went, didn't matter if it was a grandparent, a kid, everybody loves this movie. It really changes the movie industry. So just to let you know a little bit, the movie came out in 1981. George Lucas thought of this movie in 1971, 10 years earlier. He was on a trip to Hawaii. Steven Spielberg was there. And Steven Spielberg, after doing Close Encounters, wanted to do a James Bond movie. But George Lucas talked Spielberg into directing Indiana Jones. We're used to seeing, obviously, Harrison Ford in Star Wars and in Indiana Jones. But they had people like Jack Nicholson thought for this movie, and Tom Selleck of Magnum on CBS was basically going to do it, but CBS wouldn't let him out of his contract to Magnum PI. So they turned to Harrison Ford. There's, just to let you know if you're afraid of snakes, there's snakes in this movie. And Steven Spielberg and George Lucas ordered 6,000 to 10,000 live snakes because the mechanical ones just didn't do the trick. And Harrison Ford wasn't afraid of them, but his co-star Karen Allen was terrified of snakes. So she barely got the filming of this. Also, if you're a fan of Star Wars, there are Star Wars references throughout the movie. And I'll give you one. There's a scene where Harrison Ford is being chased and he jumps into a plane. The plane's, I guess, number or license number on the side says OB-CP3. That's Obi-Wan Kenobi and C-3PO from Star Wars. There are a lot of booby traps in this movie. What is shocking to me was that the booby traps, the ideas for the specific booby traps, came from a Disney cartoon called Scrooge, I think it's Scrooge McDuck. That TV series had the identical booby trap scenes, and they borrowed it from that cartoon series. And obviously I want to recognize also my wife, Maria Teresa, that Barbara said, and my daughter Lydia is in the audience. And Lydia has a connection, she's 21 now, has a connection with certain elements in this movie. There are Nazis in this movie. So go back to the year around 2004, and I'm embarrassing her. My entire family was here to watch Sound of Music live. Lydia was barely 2, she was asleep on my lap, which made the show enjoyable. Halfway through the Von Trapp's journey, and they were on stage singing Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Si, La, Do, Re, Mi, and they were all on stage happy and dancing. Suddenly, Lydia wakes up, looks up, and screams like if it was Psycho. The loudest scream you could ever imagine. And this is the truth. I was like in the second row in the middle with all my cousins and my mom and my wife. And the Von Trapps were dancing and singing. All of a sudden they stopped, the music stopped, and my daughter did what the Nazis weren't able to do. Stop the Von Trapp family in their tracks. So in the spirit of the NFL, I put my young daughter under my arm, as if I was a running back in the NFL, and I ran through the hallway and up the aisle, out the door. And back then there were windows. When I looked in the windows, everybody in the theater, for some reason, knew I was looking, and they would look back as if I was pure evil. So that's my memory with my daughter. So enjoy this movie. It's special. In April, we have, I think, one of the greatest blockbuster movies of all time, but it's modern, Avengers Endgame, which is, talk about explosive and powerful blockbuster. August, we have Back to the Future, and most likely in the month of November, the original Rocky that won the Academy Award. So let's enjoy. This is community. I love to see, like I said last time, all generations here. Enjoy the movie, and thank you for being here.
We are so fortunate in this community to have individuals like Commissioner Menendez and all of you to be a part of this organization. How many of you people have come here as a performing arts center? Wow, wow. Well, thank you so much for that support. Many of you may not realize that Actors Playhouse is your hometown regional professional theater company. Working with Broadway actors, with Broadway musicals, we do children's theater here as well. You must have seen all the promos here. I hope to greet you here at the theater for some of our wonderful events. And with all the families in the audience, I can't help but tell you about our Young Talent Big Dreams contest for talented young kids ages 8 through 17. Please look it up on our website, and before you leave, make sure you take home a brochure and become engaged with this beautiful theater. In 1948, this building was built as a wonderful showcase movie house, just as you see it here. And in the 1980s, they made it into a fourplex theater. And in 1995, we created this remarkable private-public partnership with the city of Coral Gables. Commissioner, you weren't in the commission then, but if it weren't for Mayor Dorothy Thompson, you know, she's really attributed to all the wonderful things she's done, in particular to make sure that we had an opportunity to save this building as a historic site. So here you are at the Miracle Theater to enjoy a wonderful movie. Please enjoy yourself and have a wonderful time, and we hope to greet you here often for everything we do. Thank you.